Hey, how y'all doing today? Um, what time is it? It is 2:35 a.m. And first, I want to give all honor and praises to the Most High God and tell Him thank you and I love you for everything that you do. You're amazing, and I'm just so happy to have Him in my life. I'm just grateful for God. All right, so I want to share some stuff that is on my mind. So, you know, I have always been like this type of person that is like seeking, right? I'm always seeking. I'm sorry, yeah, I just finished smoking a cigarette too. That's why I'm breathing like that. That's crazy. I've always been the type of person, right, that was seeking and stuff like that. And God was right. God was right about everything. When people say that He knows the beginning and the end, because He really know it all. He knows it all. And I'm the type of person, right? I was seeking. I was all my life, right? And then I had a relationship with God, right? I got my relationship with God like really on track. And I've always had a one-on-one relationship with God, but I got my relationship with God on track, like knowing who God is and stuff like that. Um, Last year, like learning more about God. This is 24, yeah, last year, because that's when I started spirituality. And so during that time, I was still learning myself, right? I knew a lot by then, but I was still learning because I've always been a seeker. Seeking. Why? I don't know. But I hate it. I hate it. I hated being a seeker, right? But it's just a part of who I am. Certain things I learned, it is a part of my personality. And then certain things I learned that I was just still seeking certain things, right? And which makes me kind of weird and awkward at times because the things that I be having so many questions in my head sometimes, and it just makes me seek things, right? And that's why God be like, you don't need to know everything. Nobody needs to know everything, you know. And I'm also that person, like, even though I learn things and know things, I still know my place, I still know this is not for me, this is not This is not for me, right? Um, I so okay. So as I was growing up, right, I told you guys that I used to have a racing mind and loose thoughts, right? Um, Over time, I learned that after healing and learning myself and going through this journey of life, I learned that I no longer have a loose mind because I'm able to think these through and um, just see the beauty in all things. But I had noticed that I still had racing thoughts, right? So I didn't have a loose mind anymore because by then I had healed a lot and I was learning myself. I was getting to know me, right? So the loose mind was gone because I had discovered that I had a loose mind. But I had noticed that I still had the racing thoughts. And then I learned to control my racing thoughts, but I learned that having racing thoughts is a part of who I am. So some things I've learned that is I'm able to control it, and then certain things is just a part of who I am as an individual. So yes, I still have racing thoughts, but I don't have bad thoughts. I don't have thoughts of, anything. I just like that, like as a loose minded person that I used to be will have. So I don't have loose thoughts. I have racing thoughts, right? These are things that I have discovered about myself along the way because I just want to know who I am. I want to know myself fully, and so due to the fact that I still have racing thoughts, I've learned that that's a part of who I am. So I learned to use those racing thoughts to meditate. Like I meditate and sort out my thoughts to understand anything in life, in every area of life, right? So it's kind of like depending upon my own thoughts instead of fully depending on what God say, what His word is, and what He say we should do as His children and as a child of God, right? So it will make sense why I'm a seeker the way I am because I wasn't leaving it all in God's hands. I wasn't. Okay, and it's not that I was not leaving it in God's hands on purpose. It's because I am a seeker, but I'm learning to not be a seeker. um, if that makes any sense, but um, so I understand why God does everything that He do. I just don't understand why I am the way I am. And I'm learning to leave everything in God's hands. I really trust God a lot, but I have to believe. It shows that I wasn't believing as much. It shows that I wasn't trusting God as much. Because when you're not leaning on your own understanding, you're not seeking so much, you're just trusting in the Word of God, right? And as I was seeking because I'm naturally a seeker, I understand why my light was so bright. It was too bright. It was too bright. And, I dim my light because I don't like a lot of attention. When your light is too bright, whoever you are, maybe you're going to always attract a lot of attention, right? It's like if you're downstairs, right? And there's just like trees or something, and then there's it's the summertime, right? And it's dark, right? And there's a light bulb or this like tank that attracts bugs, right? To catch bugs because of that light, right? That's what's attracting the bugs, right? Bugs, right? And then all these bugs get stuck inside this little tank thing or whatever that's full of light because the light attracts them, right? So I've learned this over time, but this is something God been trying to tell me. This is something God been there. He's been there. He's done that, and He was trying to tell me. I feel like I'm not gonna be seeking as much. I'd rather just depend on God and His Word. And the reason why I like to depend on God is because I find comfort in God. I find joy, peace, happiness, calmness, in believing in God. Yes, it is true. I am still having a hard time with reading that Bible, y'all. And that's just because I don't like, I don't like to read all that bad stuff. I'm not saying the Bible is bad. Please, please don't rearrange my words. I'm doing my best to deliver this message and express myself the best way I can. But I don't like to read the Bible as much. I like to read certain parts of the Bible, and then certain other parts of the Bible is just bad, and I don't like to read it, but I understand you can't take the good without the bad and the bad without the good. I understand that. But I'm just expressing my personal thoughts, my personal feelings, how I feel. Um I find that praying to God is is a lot. That's I like that. I like to pray to God. I like to believe in God because if I don't believe in God, then that means I, you, we, he, whoever, she, pronouns will fall for anything. Will fall for anything because we're not believing in something magnificent, wonderful, and grateful and gracious as God, right? Even if you know the devil really had been, and I don't mean like the devil, okay, really had been playing games with my mind. And I'm not talking about a particular person, people. Sometimes your own thoughts can be the dang on devil, because if you're not careful with what you're thinking, you start to believe anything, okay? So I feel like my relationship with God, your relationship with God, and you know, I have to keep my relationship with God, very strong. And personally, I feel like if I didn't have God, that I would be more lost in life. And some people feel like, God don't exist or God isn't real. I feel like God is real. I feel like God does exist. I feel like God lives in us, not in a blasphemy way, but I feel like God does lives inside of us. And that's why we have some of his tendencies because we are in the image of God. Um, so yeah, I'm about to get off of here, or whatever. These things, if we didn't have God, right? Who will we look up to? I don't know who to look up to if I didn't have God. You know, if I didn't seek, I wouldn't know nothing. I won't learn, you know, um, I won't learn the things that God already knows. But if I follow God and believe in God and just keep trusting God's word, I will see that everything that I'm seeking to learn, God already has the answers. He already has the answers. He be trying to save us from going through things that we don't have to go through by following him and believing in him. So sometimes I understand, like, just leave it in God's hands, trust God, believe that God knows what's best for us and that he already knows the answer to everything. There's no reason to second guess, think twice, wander off, none of these things. He already knows what is best for us. So I'm about to get off of here, but I just want to say, God bless you guys. I am still kind of tired. I am. But God woke me up at I want to say like 1:40 something because it's 2. Let me see. It's 2:52 right now. So I would say that God, yeah, he woke me up around 1, I think at 1:44. Don't quote me, but I really believe it was close to that time or at that time. And I was like, whoa, 1:44, okay. Because God do things in his own timing. He does. And he don't rush anything because he has seen it all. He's seen it all. So he don't rush nothing because he's seen it all. He's seen it all. And he be trying to see, is you going to go astray? Is you going to give up on him? Is you going to give up on yourself? He didn't give up on you. Why are you giving up on yourself? Sometimes we don't even realize that we are giving up on ourselves by the things that we give into. We just think it's life or it's normal or it's another phase. And it be, God, it's just lessons. It do. It be lessons. It be test of your faith, test of your character, test of your heart, testing you, growing you, molding you. I had call myself healing from every single thing in my life. That's impossible. That's impossible. There's no way I can heal from every single thing that has ever happened in my life. And if I am, and if God allowed me to heal from every single thing in my life, which I'm not going to say it's impossible, it's possible. It's possible because I am a forgiving person. It's possible because I like to learn, I like to listen, I like to be obedient. And certain things I know it's okay to just be at peace with it. So I won't say it's impossible. I will say that it just take more dedication. More dedication. So I'm about to get off here. God bless you guys and have a good day. Good night. Good morning. Goodbye.